Hector is Hector Bradenton. He is Joseph's brother. Now, this is the one that we tell you not to ask the one question. He's our party animal.
Oh.
He's the one that if you take it and say right or left, he will light up for that. Last night, last night the woman stood there like this the whole time going, why is it going off? I'm like, didn't I tell you before? And she goes, oh crap. But you do actually have to ask him Hector right or left. And you have to do it right, and then you have to say right. For him to get an answer, honest to goodness. She's waiting for you to do it.
Go ahead, Maria.
Right or left?
Now point the meter to you. Yep.
Right or left?
Oh, he likes both.
Yeah.
See, I
He's
told
a
you.
titty man.
And you were worried about not having any. I told you he likes the small ones.
Down there somewhere. Hector,
Now,
right
Hector has an interesting...
or left?
likes the
Oh,
left
he
one.
likes left.
Yep. Now, what we find interesting is Hector's story.
Hector's disturbing.
Hector actually and his brother Joseph moved here from Tallahassee in 1843. They actually established Kansas County. The Wards, the Wyatts, and Gambles also came with them from Tallahassee. They actually all came from Virginia, which I find interesting that they all were in Virginia, then they went to Tallahassee, and then they all ended up here as our founding fathers. Now the reason they left Tallahassee is because they were all on the board. Gamble was the president of the Tallahassee Bank. Hector and his brother were on the board, the Wyatts were on the board. When the bank went under, they moved here. And quote unquote, Joseph as a doctor and Hector as a lawyer no longer needed to practice because they were too rich. Now the reason
the bank. Oh, Hector, I'm sorry.
he won't answer for anything. Anything serious, he will not answer. But the reason the bank went under was because the way the mortgages were being written. Sound familiar? They pocketed a lot of money. So in 1846, back then they called them storms. Nowadays we call them hurricanes. Hector decided after the first part of the storm, because they didn't know that there was an eye in the back part, he decided to get on the biggest horse at the fort and cross the Manatee River. Well, when this first part of the storm came, it emptied the Manatee River out. He got on the horse, crossed the Manatee River. In the middle of the river, the horse got stuck like quicksand. The back end of the storm came in, put the water back in. The next day they found Hector sitting on his horse. Both of them had their eyes open and they were both dead. Now, the interesting thing about Hector is that we found a letter saying that someone had written to the relatives in Virginia saying, Hector had an accident, he's buried on the banks of the Manatee River. If you want to collect his body, you need to come down and collect it. Because at that time, we didn't have a cemetery. Shortly after that, that's when they came and made the old cemetery. It's down there. That's right next to the historical village with the train. And Joseph, his brother,